Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and to my late full moon readings. I tried to start on the full moon yesterday. If you saw the one reading that I did present, I was having technical issues. But I really enjoy doing these Gods at Play readings, looking at the opposing forces that may be working with us over the past. Well, for today's reading, it's an interesting one because it could be for the next 2 weeks, waiting up until the new moon, and we're clearing out of the whole Cancer Capricorn cycle, which this lunar eclipse last night, which was not a good one. Listening to all the astrologers, it's not good. It could be, obviously, for the next 4 weeks, working up until the next full moon. It could be for the next 6 months, working all the way towards the next eclipse, which I think is on the winter solstice. It's interesting that this year, which is remarkable for having 6 eclipses rather than 4, that the eclipses are actually smack bang on the solstice points. So, just in case you hadn't noticed, 2020 is a really big year. And of course, there's nothing going on in the world that would give you that impression, is there? Right, so I look at the opposing forces here. This is a... you could ask a question beforehand. It's not the sort of reading where I guarantee that you will actually get an answer because, as I say, we are looking at the forces. We are looking at the energies that are at play. I have 2 rows on my reading. The top row is looking at the gods as archontic masks, as in forces that are designed to oppress us, to press us down and keep us separated from the divine. The bottom row is a more pagan view of the gods, where they are free natural forces, independent entities and energies in and of their own right, and they are working to lift us up. Now, I come from a philosophy where, within reason, and there's a comment in itself, but within reason, everything is true. Everything is real. So I can see the effects of the archontic masks of the gods, and I can see the gods. I have more of a pagan background than not. So it's I have Gnostic leanings as well. So the two sort of clash against one another. And there's always the thought that the pagan gods, if there are only archons and then the angels above them, then the pagan gods that we work with are egregores, astral creations of mankind. But these pagan gods, these egregores, are old creations of mankind. They'll have gained some wisdom and some energy and some power along the way. I don't personally think that they are egregores, although I do think that there are egregores of them, if that makes sense. Anyway, way too technical. Let's me get on to dealing the cards. So it's a general reading. There's not even an element of take what resonates necessarily because it's not that sort of reading. You can have a look at the energies and then observe to see whether they're at play or not in your life, and you're not necessarily going to know while watching the reading right now. But don't take my words as gospel, but also do watch your sun, your moon and your rising signs. I think certainly in a lunar eclipse month, watch your moon. Definitely. Watch your sun sign because, as Soul Garden TV says, Chris Witecki, that's your first story, your primary story. Your rising sign is the secondary story. Although in ancient astrology, your rising sign was the most important. But when we're dealing with moon readings, I think the moon features in there somewhere. So if you don't know what your moon and rising sign are, there's a link down below in the description. Follow that through to, I think it's a Cafe Astrology one, but AstroSeek is really good as well, because you can do all sorts of little, like change the house system that you're working with, and do you want to see asteroids or not. So I think I should start putting the AstroSeek link in there as well. There's also a link down there for a Facebook page for the channel. Now that has its own inbox, so if you want to contact me directly for a personal reading via that, you can do. I post all of these videos obviously, and all the astrology videos that I watch, and sometimes other, well, as I call it, in a respectful and reverent fashion, all the hocus pocus nonsense that I watch, because people can get too serious with this, and the whole point of existence is supposed to be working towards joy, isn't it? You know, so, you know, yes, take it seriously, but don't take it too seriously. You know, have a sense of humour about it, because the world is ludicrous. The fact that we chose to do this as incarnate souls is ludicrous, and so it's worth a smile. Yeah, I think that's it for the housekeeping. So, like I say, looking at the opposing energies, because full moon, sun opposed moon. All right, let me bring up the cards. And as always, there is a timestamp below in the description. So if you've just joined us after the timestamp, welcome Scorpio moon and Scorpio rising. Right. You're the 8th reading that I have done, obviously being the 8th sign of the zodiac, and I think it's safe to say there's a theme. Now, the theme for you seems to be strike out and be a rebel. There is definitely a sense that the prevailing wisdom is not something that you need to be following at the moment. Garuda here is saying more that there is a I believe somebody who you need to remain loyal to, that that loyalty has already been there, that you remain loyal to, and you take the wilder path. Garuda is a phoenix character. I mean, here he's symbolizing travel, but he also gets reborn through fire. He goes through the fire unscathed and comes back better. With this following immediately with Achilles for glory, it's almost like you are being encouraged to make some form of noise. Simple as you are being encouraged to make some form of noise where you are being true to a loyalty that you have held for good reason. I was going to say a long time, but I think for good reason is another matter, because here we have DT with revenge. Now I need to look her up, but I'm immediately sprung to mind of an attempt to try and set things right. So maybe the higher vibration of revenge. Let's have a look what DT says. So what DT is saying is do not act in haste, but here in this reading she is saying act, just not in haste. Think about what you really should do rather than what you want to do. The reason I'm picking up on that particular point is, as the archontic masks that are trying to suppress you, we have Thoth with wisdom, Athena with wisdom, I'm detecting a theme, Pele with purpose, Fortuna with fate, and Medusa with the feminine is what she's representing here. But what I'm feeling with this is the understanding that not everything is as it seems, not everything is as it appears, and there is a prevailing wisdom that is almost going to a military style passion, maybe even a militia style passion that is misleading, and it may be giving purpose. But what the white buffalo woman here is saying, in contrast to Pele, is that treat other beings with respect and you will have peace. And this bottom row, the supporting row, the gods that are uplifting you. Take some fiery action which is against the prevailing wisdom because you believe it's the right thing to do. Be loud about it, Achilles with glory, but it is about treating people with respect and about setting things right. And yes, it takes forethought. Yes, it takes planning. And it takes rejecting appearances as they first look to you, and also believing, it's rejecting the belief that this is the way that things should be. There is success here with Aelahia, Angel 44 of the Oracle of Heaven and Hell. Aelahia. I don't think I've ever pulled that card before. But she's representing, well, he's representing by the looks of him, success. That's the astrological degree, one of the Shem HaMephorash. But it's really interesting how wisdom seems to be arraigned against you. So if there is something that you are planning, you know, let's take this out of a moral fight context. If there is something that you are planning and there's a lot of people poo-pooing what you are trying to achieve and saying, right, you have these commitments, you have the chance to level up with things that have already been occurring. You cannot beat the power of how things are supposed to be. But you're like, no, I can balance that. I can move forward and move forward loudly with that glory card. Because what you are doing is based far more on childhood values, morals, the respect of others. And now I get it. So we've got 9 of cups, 9 of chalices with DT, with revenge. So it's I think I will call the reading this if I remember. That will show them. Simple as that. That will show them. What you achieve is thumbing your nose at somebody who said, no, you can't, or it shouldn't be like that because this is the way it is. And they are wrong because it doesn't have to be that way. With the correct work put in now, you will see the value in what you are doing and others will see the value in what you're doing. I want to pull a last card, 8 of Wands, then it takes off. Right? There's someone was saying, pull the next one, pull the next one. So that's a really, really quite quick reading, that one, but that's really nice. Beware about going along with the conventional wisdom. That's a threat here. Beware about being given a purpose, maybe in the form of a compliment, maybe in the form of a promotion. Someone who is saying, you take this on board, you can level up, you become a better person. No, you do become a better person by following things your way and not taking things on face appearances. And just assuming that this is the way things should be because that's the way I've been told they should be because they always have been, and so there. You know, there's Fortuna with fate, but look at Fortuna and fate as an oppressive force, then the fact that you can gain strength in joining in with something that is wrong doesn't help matters because you might be stronger in it, but you're still wrong. Whereas here, everyone's going to be saying that you're wrong, but you are finding a way to find peace. And you are finding a way to loudly proclaim, basically, None too divisive, this. Loudly proclaim that your way is better. But this will take a lot of work, but there will be value and success in it. Success with Ailahia and improvement with this Eight of Wands card of everything taking off. Right. So if this means anything to you, Scorpio, comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, obviously. And if I don't know what your next readings will be, because it's been a bit chaotic, but there will be new readings soon. I've still got to do the Chinese zodiac yet, so just stay posted. All right, cheers.